Autism, mental health, and Makaton. I have autism. I also suffer from anxiety. And I want to tell you how Makaton has helped me and those around me manage my anxiety and mental health. But first, I want to give you a statistic. I read online that 70 to 80% of people with autism at some point in their life will suffer with mental health issues. That's the majority of people on the autistic spectrum. This article also said that knowing the signs and how to support someone on the autistic spectrum is crucial to their well-being. I have anxiety. I have done for as long as I can remember. Anxiety over changes to my routine, things going wrong, social situations, having to communicate with other people, and overwhelming sensory input. As a child, before I could talk and had limited ways of communicating, when I was anxious or really sad, I struggled to express this, to communicate it. And most of the time, the only way I could express this was through my behaviors, by pushing people, running off, banging my head, or screeching. It was not helpful to me or others. Once I was able to use Makaton symbols and signs to express basic emotions like happy, sad, and worried, I had a much better way of expressing myself. One that didn't cause me injury or distress, and one that others could understand. And when they were able to understand, they were more able to help me. They could react in the right way, knowing my behavior was caused by feeling worried or sad, rather than thinking I was angry or just simply being a naughty child. Sometimes it was not obvious to people what I was feeling or why, and Makaton helped break down this communication barrier so I could be understood by them. As an adult who can talk, when I become anxious now, I can sometimes appear a little rude or angry. I really struggle sometimes to get my words out. I stutter, or sometimes I simply can't say anything. At other times, I'll walk away from people, and occasionally I'll just shout at them to go away. I find it really hard to find the right words in my head and to say them. I find it much easier to sign or to use the symbols. When signing, it naturally makes me focus on what I'm doing and slows me down. I can focus on my hands and not the eyes or face of the other person, taking away that awkward eye contact. And with symbols, I can match that symbol to what I am feeling. I can look at the symbol and more easily recognize those feelings within myself. And for people around me who know how to use Makaton signs and symbols, they can show me symbols which I can focus on or point to. They are able to sign to me to ask me if I am okay, and I respond more accurately when I use signs and symbols than when I try and just use words on their own. Sometimes when I'm anxious or worried, I actually really struggle to describe how I'm feeling. And when I see somebody sign an emotion or show me a symbol, like when somebody says, "Are you sad or worried?" and they use the signs alongside the speech, I find that a lot easier. Or when they place my communication book in front of me and open it to the emotions page so I can point, I need those visual clues with those spoken words. Using Makaton stops people guessing or making assumptions or judging me based on my reactions, which are not always an accurate reflection of my emotions. We use Makaton signs and symbols most days. We use the symbols on lanyards and in my communication book, and we sign a lot. We've also tried using symbols on an electronic communication device, but we're still exploring these. We also use Makaton for social stories or to present me with information, because again, this can lower my anxiety. Things like medical letters, my tenancy agreement, or things in the news can be really confusing and anxiety provoking, and using Makaton eases that. On top of all this, just using Makaton on a daily basis to aid my communication improves my mental health because it makes it easier for me to communicate. It allows me to express myself better, giving me more confidence and a greater sense of self-worth. And when those around me use it, again, this improves my mental well-being. Even if it's just a few simple signs, it makes me feel like I'm accepted and people are willing to try my method of communication, like I try and use theirs every single day. It makes me feel more equal, less isolated. I feel more part of life, which can only benefit my mental health when I have Makaton around me. So, Makaton has been a huge benefit to me in situations where I have been anxious or just in general maintaining and managing my mental health. And I just wanted to share my story with you.